Hey beauties, welcome to another exciting pattern making class. My name is Egons of Trex Fashion. I enjoy teaching pattern making and sewing using very simple methods and techniques. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you always get notified when I post new videos. So in today's class, I'll be showing you how to make the dartless bodies, just like this. As you can see, these bodies has no dart at all. So we're going to be learning how to make these dartless bodies. Now you can use these bodies for knit and stretch designs. You can use them to create patterns for t-shirts, for fitted tops or dresses, for even loose fitting tops without that and dresses without that. You can also use these bodies for them. Now, are you thinking that we're going to be drafting these bodies from scratch? No. That will be a pretty long process. I'm going to be showing you a very simple method for you to convert your original bodies, the one that has that, and then convert it or modify it to these dartless bodies. Now, I mean this one. So this is the bodies that many of us all have. These bodies has darts because we use them for fitting our tops or dresses. So in this class, we're going to be learning how to eliminate all of these darts and then create a dartless bodies. Now, I'm sure you already have these bodies, right? Well, if you don't, no worries at all. I'm going to drop the link in the description box below so that you can go and learn how to make yours. It's one of those YouTube videos that I've created in the past. So now, let's get to the table. Let me show you exactly how this is done. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment for me below. Thank you so much. Love you guys. So here's my bodice patterns, the front and the back. I'd already traced them out from the original hard cardboard to my pattern paper. And then what we're going to do now would be, we are going to eliminate both the shoulder dart and then the waist dart for the front bodies and the back bodies. But the first thing we're going to do would be for us to move this shoulder dart to the waist line or to the waist dart. So that will be the first thing we're going to do. But before we do that, I want to quickly mention that you take note of two things. One, you're going to take note of your waistline, your original waistline without your dart. That means that you're going to measure from here to this part. You ignore your dart and then you measure the other part. So that will be your original waistline. And then you're going to take note of your dart value here. My dart value here is 3 cm. You're going to do the same thing for the back pattern piece. So once you've done that, so we're going to now eliminate these shoulder darts. So we're going to start with the front pattern first. Now, if you have a bust dart on your pattern, let's assume you don't have a shoulder dart, but you have just the bust dart, it's same principle. You're just going to move this your bust dart to the waist dart. So that's the first thing we want to do. So now you're going to draw a straight line right at the middle of your dart. All the way down to your hip line. Now, once you've done that, you're going to cut through this, your straight line, all the way down to the apex. And then you're also going to cut off these darts. Okay, so you take this off, and then with your scotch tape, you're going to close this dart nicely. So you close them nicely, just like this. Okay, so you see now we have moved this shoulder dart here all the way down to our waist dart. So now you're going to place a paper underneath. So once you've done that, the next thing for us to do would be for us to now remove this dart. We want to eliminate this dart totally. So to do that, you're going to go to your armhole. Now from your side seam here under your armhole, you're going to measure say about 1.5 or 2 cm, just somewhere close like that. You're going to give it a little mark, and then you're going to create another dart. So now, okay, let me use a longer ruler. So you create another dart, you draw a line, you draw a straight line from that point there all the way down to the dart tip here. To the dart tip here. And then, okay, let me hold it down well, good. And then you're going to also draw a line from this point here all the way down to these other points. Okay, so you see now we've created another dart. Now we are going to open this dart so that we can close this other one very nicely. Okay, so you're going to take this off. You don't need this part. And then let me just quickly correct this part. Okay, and then you're going to close this up just like this. So by closing this, you have actually removed this dart here. Remember, we moved the shoulder dart to our waist dart, so we have actually totally now eliminated the shoulder dart. So now I'm going to stick this together with my Scotch tape. So don't worry about this part here, we're going to fix that later. Now, even after doing that, the value of your waist dart is still very much here. So we want to now remove the value of our waist dart from this part. And to remove that is pretty easy. Remember, from the onset, we said take note of the value of your waist dart. The value of my waist dart is 3 cm. So I'm just going to measure on my waistline here 3 cm. So from my waistline, I'm going to measure 3 cm. You just put a mark. You can either do it like this, or on the other hand, you can measure what the value of your waist is. Now remember, I said take note of your waist measurement without the dart. Now if you want to do it that way, then you have to place your meter rule just like this, and then you're going to mark the value of your darts. The value of your waistline. So that's another way you can do it. So whichever way is whichever one you prefer, it's okay. So you just mark the value of your waistline, and then you mark it just like that. Or from here, you take off the value of your dart. It's going to be exactly the same thing. And then once you do that, you're now going to connect this point down to your armhole or under your armhole. So you connect it nicely, just like that. And then for this other part, you're going to use your pattern master to connect it nicely all the way down to your hip line. Good. Just like this. So if you notice that there is a sharp end here, if it's pointy, you can use your pattern master to just smoothen it out nicely. Just like that. So once you've done that, you've actually eliminated the waist dart. So now I'm going to cut this part off. So now we have this part to deal with. So now you grab a plain sheet of paper, and then you place it underneath like this, so that we are going to correct this part. Now just use your sticky tape to hold them together in place. So there are two things that have really not changed. Now from here, from our center front line here to the hip line, it has not changed at all. Our side seam, the length of our side seam has also not changed at all. But now we have a little bit of shortage here. So to do that, to correct this, you're going to just draw a small straight line because we don't want it curvy yet. So just draw a small straight line, just like that. And then you use your pattern master to curve it in to meet your this point here, or your hem. So just like that. Okay, so you're now going to trim this part off nicely. So that's it. So once you've done that, you now have a darkless bodice pattern that you can use for stretch fabrics. So now we're going to now work on the back side. Now for the back side, the first thing we're going to do will be for us to eliminate these shoulder darts, and this is really pretty easy to do. You're just going to find out the value of this dart. For me, the value of this dart is just 1 cm. So you're going to go to your to the tip of your shoulder, and then you're just going to mark 1 cm, or you're going to mark whatever the value of your dart is, and then you mark it just like that. And then you're going to place your pattern master nicely on it like this, and then you're going to draw it down nicely. Okay, so that means that we do not need this dart anymore. Once you've done that, you can now redraw your shoulder line to be a bit straight or slanted, just like that. And then you snip off this little part here, and then you snip this off as well. Now the next thing for us to do will be to eliminate this waist dart. Now this is really easy because we're just going to take off this dart value from our waistline. This dart value is 3 cm. So you measure from here 3 cm or whatever your dart value is, and then just like we did for the front, you are just going to draw straight line just like this, and then you use your pattern master to draw this hip line very nicely. Okay, and then you snip off this part. So once you've done that, that means that we don't need this dart anymore. So this is also a dartless bodice pattern for the back side. So the only last thing we need to do now will be for us to true our patterns to see if the front and the back pattern they match. So now this is my waistline. So let me just place it here. It's really important that the waistline matches. So now you place this on top of your front bodice, and then you're just going to true your pattern. So you see the waistline matches very well. Now you place your hand or your finger on the waistline, and then you move this nicely. So it also matches at the hem line. And so once you have your side seam matching like this, you are really good to go. So that's it, and that's how to create our dartless bodice pattern. I hope this tutorial was simple enough for you to understand. Please, if you like this tutorial, please don't forget to drop a comment. Let me know what you think, and if you do have any question, please drop it in the comment section as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. You can share the video. You can also invite your friends to subscribe to my channel as well. So I'll see you again in my next tutorial where I'll be showing you how to use this bodice pattern to make an outfit. So until then, bye.